and that should be who Paulo.
He finds a Jeskai Ascendancy in his rare slot.
Yep. There's also an Heir of the Wild if he prefers one color decks.
I do love an Heir of the Wild.
Mardu War Shrieker, he shuffles to the front. It is one of the better red commons. Oh, is that a Death Frenzy as well?
It's a Death Frenzy as well. So he's got a lot of options here.
He does. Jeskai Ascendancy's got to be the most powerful.
It's the most powerful card here for sure, but
it's like how many colors?
The cost is very high.
He's got 1 color option, 2 color option, 3 color option.
That's right. And there's that Heir of the Wilds as well. What do you take out of here, Randy?
I think I'm okay with 5 color. I would take the most powerful card. I would take the Jeskai Ascendancy.
Yeah. I think I'd take the Heir of the Wild.
I can totally see the case for Heir of the Wild. I don't think I would Death Frenzy. I don't think I would War Shrieker. I think it's Jeskai Ascendancy or Heir of the Wilds.
Go all the way or not all the way.
Yeah, the
very short step.
It's the best single color card or the best card.
Right. And it
looks
like Heir of the Wilds.
Yeah,
I like
very
that
defensible pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't specifically have a lot of experience with Jeskai Ascendancy. That's probably why I would gravitate that way.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I err on the side of drafting the rares more so that, you know, when you hit that high stakes match where it's really going to matter, you've had experience with them.
I do that
This is the place where you're supposed to cash in on all the experience you have.
Yeah, I like a debilitating injury here for Paulo, but he's got a lot of options. There's a Tuskguard Captain, which is a perfectly great pick as well.
Wind Scout's
It's
not
also
terrible.
in green. He doesn't need to go into another color quite yet.
Oh yeah, Tuskguard Captain is
fantastic. Card is excellent. One of the best 3 drops in the set.
I mean, debilitating injury is probably better, but do you want to add a color?
I don't.
Neither does Paulo. Now he's got to know that he's shipped black, though.
Yep.
He's now shipped a 3rd pick debilitating injury. He's also shipped that Death Frenzy.
Yes.
He's also shipped the Jeskai Ascendancy. He shipped everything except green, basically.
Uh-huh.
Jeskai Ascendancy, Wind Scout. Those make a nice pairing for somebody on his left. Is that a Tri-Land?
Yeah, there was a Tri-Land in there. And it doesn't look like a whole lot in this pack. There's an Aerostorm that he's pulled to the front.
This early in the draft, I'm not even sure I care which one it is. It's got green in it, even better.
Yeah, that's true. It seems like he likes Aerostorm.
Really? I would Opulent Palace.
I would too. You know, the downside to Aerostorm is that it's double red, and also just that it's red, like you're moving into red-green.
Right. You don't want, if you're friendly pair, you can only get to Teamer from there.
Right. Now, Disown Ancestor is interesting, but I agree with you. I think the Tri-Land's the pick here.
I mean, Aerostorm is a solid, good card.
It's a very good card. It's a good Magic card. But you got to think bigger picture at this point.
Double red.
Double red's brutal.
Opulent Palace.
I like Palace in here too.
It
looks like that is the decision for Paulo.
What's it gonna be?
Hooray! Whoa.
I feel like I passed some tests there. I don't know.
I think you did.
You and
too.
I did.
Yeah. All right, some more decent cards. These packs have been quite good.
Dragon Scale Boon here or Weaver?
I like the Weaver. Yeah, I think the Weaver's one of the best morphs in the set.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, and he just picked up a blue mana source there, and it's a morph, so it's not like he's taking a huge risk. I love Watcher of the Roost that he had pulled to the front, but I think with the Opulent Palace, I also just think Misfire Weaver's better anyway.
Agreed.
So. So they're doing a little different here for the top 8. They're not doing the full timed draft over there.
Okay.
You know, where they have to wait for the 30 seconds. These players have all drafted so many times that they're letting them do it in a reasonable pace. They're doing what's called a zone draft, where you're not allowed to pass your pack until the person in front of you is packless. That way it avoids confusion. They still have them count them down and make sure they're all stamped. There's a Narset sitting in the pack where she probably belongs. We saw her in the feature match area, but that's a tough card to actually get on the battlefield and doesn't reward you in a huge way. Obzon Guide, I love. I would take Obzon Guide here. I mean, it's a little bit off. Like, it gets a little weird because he is leaning towards Sultai, but I think that Obzon Guide's the strongest card, and he can give up not a lot to play it. If he pivots over into Obzon, that's totally fine. He can still play his Misfire Weaver off of his Opulent Palace, and it's okay.
It's a Weapon Master, a Throttle.
Throttle.
So you take the Throttle here and
probably
lean even more toward the pivot toward Obzon?
probably does.
I mean,
he shipped a
the
bunch of
falls
black.
is a green-blue land. That's what he's debating.
That is the debate. So this is actually putting him to the real test, because now he's dipped his toe fully into both the Sultai and the Abzan pool, and this pick is going to dictate at least somewhat which direction he goes.
It doesn't determine it, but
yes,
it leans
but
that
it's
way.
like, make your decision here.
I think he went with the multi-land.
It's still there.
Oh, he hasn't
picked.
decided yet. Saw his hand reach over toward his deck.
Throttle's a decent card.
Yeah, Throttle
that's going to make his main deck if he's in black no matter what.
He's only got the one blue card, right? Just the Weaver?
Yes, the one blue card and the one blue Mana Source. It's a tough choice.
Yeah.
It really is. And he has, I'm not surprised to see him tank out on this here. He took the Throttle.
Yep.
I think both choices are pretty defensible there. I mean, remember, the Throttle can go right into either of his main choices, right? Like, he can play it in Abzan, he can play it in Sultai.
That's true.
It's just, is he really going to be Sultai if he doesn't take the Mana Fixer there? Like, if he knew he was Sultai for sure, he'd probably take the Mana Fixing. This is the pack that he opened, and the Jeskai Ascendancy is still in there.
Really?
Wasn't it in there?
Yeah.
Right there at the front.
Came all the way back.
I mean, it's very strong, but it's very narrow, right? Like, you have to be stone Jeskai to make it good, and it's not great in a 5-color deck either. It's okay, but it's not
time to just take it and speculate.
He's like, fine.
His Weapon Master's just floating around late too. Wow,
And
the
there's
Wind
an
Scout is
Arrow
still there
Storm
too.
and
Take
a
the Wind
Scout.
Scout.
I think maybe the signals are strong enough here.
I would totally take the Wind Scout
I
here.
would too.
I mean, Arrow Storm is a better card, but it's double red. You have no red. You're kind of in blue. You have a Jeskai Ascendancy.
You have a Jeskai Ascendancy, you've got a Misfire Weaver, you got an Opulent Palace. Like, I like it. I think I like Wind Scout here too. I agree with you, Randy.
All the way around the table, I would totally Wind Scout here.
The Arrow's better in a vacuum, but we are far from a vacuum here.
Right. There's nobody.
Paulo's really tortured by these picks
there's
here.
nobody on Jeskai. He Arrow Storms.
Did he take Arrow Storm?
He did.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I am really curious to see where he goes from here.
There's a Water Whirl now. But he disowned Ancestors.
He takes the black card. So now the Jeskai Ascendancy is getting further and further from realistically seen play.
Yeah, he's just taking some of the steam out of whatever the Jeskai deck for whoever does finally move in.
Yeah, and that is one thing that we have to remember while we're watching these picks, right? Is that he is passing to an enemy.
Right, he takes a Leaping
Somebody from the other team is sitting right directly to his left here.
Narset comes back.
Narset coming back, which isn't a huge shock, but it's a little.
Nobody in Jeskai.
Nobody's in Jeskai.
In a weird way, that means you don't have to de-draft it, although it's early enough that somebody can still move in, I guess.
Did you say de-draft it?
Yeah, defensively drafted.
You got to explain that. I'm holding your feet. You can't just drop the de-draft in here, buddy. Shields up on defense, though. But and that's what I was saying, Randy, is that these guys, every pick is not every pick is for their deck. Mm-hmm. Some picks are taking it away from my opponent.
Green was not super open. I mean, he took that air super early.
Yeah, you're right. It really.
He got an Abzan guide, kind of.
I mean, those are in order,
fourth.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really only those early picks that were good in green.
The thing that's open is Jeskai, but he wasn't interested. And I didn't think the red was all that open. I mean, I guess the Arrow Storm came around later than it should have. The Leaping Master was kind of later than it should have, but his red cards aren't great. Yeah, I would totally have a Jeskai deck here.
Maybe he's going to lean over towards Teamer. He's got some green cards. He's got a red card or two. And he's got some good blue cards, so maybe that's what his plan is. The Jeskai Ascendancy, though, feels like it's not hitting the table unless he moves hard in a different direction.
Straight to the rare.
Yeah, he went right back to the rare, which I believe was a land? Yeah, it was a flooded strand, so that's not great for him. This pack's pretty decent, though. A lot of good options. Again, it's just a matter of where do you want to go.
Yeah,
from
I mean,
here,
if he's red-green beatdown, then the Warshaker's actually decent. If he's Abzan, then the Armament Core is decent.
Yeah, and
if he wants to leave his options open, you just go Tuskguard Captain, right?
That's right. There's also a Mardu Horde Chief and a Throttle in this pack too.
Lots of good cards.
A lot of good stuff. I mean, he wants to feel safe and warm on green, right? Like, he wants to stick with those first early picks and just be green and then figure out the rest. Take the Tuskard Captain as just the most solid pick out of this pack, which I do believe that it is. You know, I'm not saying it's the most powerful card in the pack. That's probably going to go to Armament Core. But for what you have to commit to and pay, Tuskard Captain really does deliver.
Yeah, that's where he goes.
Okay. TGC. Tuskard Captain? No?
It's not good enough to get in
doing
it.
That? All right. I had to float it out there. All right, so another decent pack here for Paulo, though. He's got the choice of a Death Frenzy or a Long Shot Squad.
A Jeskai deck in the seat would be excited by that Crippling Chill, for the record.
That's true.
I mean, it's nowhere near Paulo's. It's not even on Paulo's radar. But
Bellowing Saddle Brute. I didn't see that on the
Saddle.
first pass through. Yeah, I want to see where Paulo goes with this, because right now I'm not 100%
Saddle
sure.
Brute. He's Obzon.
Okay, so we're back on Obzon, so he gives up Aerostorm for this.
Aerostorm Leaping Master? Whatever.
He gives up his blue card, his Misfire Weaver. Or actually, he can still play that off the Opulent Palace, right? We talked about that. Okay. I like Obzon a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, if he knew he was full Obzon, then probably he takes the Armament Core instead of the Tuskar Captain. But even that is...
Might come back.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's only a 6-person table. We don't know if there's another Obzon drafter.
All right, so if he does feel like he's really in green here, he has found an incremental growth, which is probably the most powerful card in the pack, just rawly speaking.
Yeah, Smoke Teller can round out his curve with a 2-drop. It's not a crazy thing to be thinking about. Oh, there's a Throttle.
Throttle's perfectly reasonable.
Is that Ice Feather Aven?
Yes, it is. The Ice Dad. All right, Ice Feather Aven. So he is going to be looking to splash blue.
He does, yeah. I mean, that'll often happen when you get the slow grindy decks, like Obzon and Sultai and Teamer. They can often, you're going to wind up in 2 of those.
Can he just be Sultai? What are his white cards?
It's a fair point. The Obzon Guide?
Yeah. Maybe he ends up splashing that on the other end?
Yeah, maybe he's just Sultai.
Could just be Sultai. I really like Bitter Revelation here if he's going to move in. And then maybe if he gets lucky, he gets Monastery Flock back. He's got his eye on Rite of the Serpent, which is not a great removal spell, but it does kill creatures.
Yeah.
Like if
he's setting up, I mean, you saw the game he played in the semifinals, right? It lasted forever. He sat behind Archer's Parapets and fended off the rush of battle and, slowly, steadily maneuvered the game into a point where he was advantaged. That is what the sort of, the Obzon, Sultai, that's what those clans tend to do.
Oh, I love it. That's all I do in draft these days is just give me some inevitability and a lot of stall.
I hear you.
I'm happy.
I'm still enjoying triggering prowess on Jeskai Wind Scout. That's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, there's that Smoke Teller. Oh, wow, a Pearl Lake Agent. Well, it can close out a game pretty nicely. Yes, it can.
I mean, you can get somebody sometimes 6-7 flash.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how. Are you really, how committed are you to the late game?
It's a 7-drop versus a 2-drop is this pick, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't think he can Snowhorn Rider.
No way.
Maybe he can play 4-color, not white. Does that even make sense?
Yeah, well then he loses his Obzon Guide.
Yeah, I like Smoke Teller pick there.
That seems fine. It's just a gotta do it type pick.
Valley Dasher is not the deck Paulo's in.
No. Mind Swipe also not, though I will say that seeing a Mind Swipe this late in the pack means that everybody at the table is going to know that it exists.
Yeah.
Which
I think you scout the borders here. Not that he has any Delve, but he might pick up some Delve. He's in the Delve colors.
Yeah, he had passed a Shambling Attendance.
Right, I mean, he doesn't have to play it if he doesn't get anything, but I mean, if a Dead Drop comes around in the 3rd pack, if he's 4 colors anyway.
Yeah, I doubt he'll get that Bitter Revelation back. That's the pick I would have made over the Rite of the Serpent out of that pack, but probably won't get it back. That helps out with your Delve as well.
Flooded Strand came back. This is his opening back. There's a Treasure Cruise
he's
still
got, He's got a Cruise or a Smoke Teller, it looks like.
Yeah, Flooded Strand doesn't really help him with his colors.
The good news is
again,
if you're in
now it's
colors,
a 2-drop versus an 8-drop.
Yeah, but really it's like
we already took the 2 over the 7, but yeah.
The thing about taking Treasure Cruise or Bitter Revelation is that you can find them. They're common. Like you will get one
float.
if you want, and you usually just want one.
He goes smoke teller.
Yeah, so he's going to pick up and get that early defenses down. Oh, it's his favorite. Archer's Parapet. You got some good work out of that in the last match.
Crippling chill tabled.
It did.
Nobody's building the aggro Jeskai deck. Yeah, Paulo Parapet's here, right?
Yeah, dutiful return's not an option.
You sure? He's thinking about it.
I don't want it to be. All right, there
Parapet.
we go. And what did he find here? Nothing, nothing, nothing. What is that other black card? Is it a Despise? I didn't see. What did he take? The Clostodon?
Yeah, Tuscarl, yeah.
You don't want to play that guy.
You don't want to. Sometimes you need a guy to attack with.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that, Randy.
Fair enough. Saying.
With so many morphs in this set, you just don't need to play cards that you can
sometimes.
only cast.
I mean, what else was he going to take out of the pack?
I
Throw
thought
it
I
in your
saw
sideboard.
Despise in there.
Okay.
I must not have.
Defiant Strike.
Sure.
How good is that with all the Jeskai triggers?
I think he's thinking the same thing. Definitely going to cut the counter spell here. All right. So it looks like he's found some direction. He's going to just take the Mind Swipe.
So it looks like Sultai, right?
It does feel like he's going into Sultai, and maybe he
maybe
picks
you
up
splash
a
white for
Blossoming
Obzon Guide.
Sands or something, yeah, for that guide. I am
trying to
curious
remember any other
how
white
he
cards.
sorts it.
I want to see him sort it too. I want to see if we're forgetting any good white cards, or if it's literally just the white mana on Obzon Guide. I mean, he's pretty clearly Sultai colored. He's got lots of green. He's got lots of black. He's got a fair amount of blue.
Yes, but he has dabbled in white a little and in red somewhat significantly.
Yeah, you're not splashing the Aerostorm though, because it's double.
No, can't do it.
Yeah, all the red cards go straight to the back.
And the white
and the white cards go straight to the back.
Yeah, I think that
Ice Feather
Aven was a nice push. It iced it.
Indeed. This deck seems solid at this point.
It
not
seems
spectacular.
Yeah, he's got double Tuskguard Captain. He's got a couple of Smoke Tellers and Air of the Wilds to make sure that he doesn't get ran over.
Right.
He's got some stinkers. You know, Rite of the Serpents, just whatever. You know, he might end up running it, but it's not exciting. The Tusk Colossodon.
What is missing is rares. Like
yeah.
There's not a single rare or mythic in this deck.
And morphs. He's got, I think, one morph. No, he's got two. I think he's only got the Aven and the.
Right, Ice Feather Aven is probably his best card. I mean, that's a good, solid uncommon.
Fantastic.
You know, the Misfire Weaver is solid.
Very, very good.
I mean, but it's kind of missing the top end from a power level point of view. Although I will say, it's a team draft, and like his deck is more consistent and more stable and more sort of solid than your average team draft at this point.
That's way true.
I mean,
I think
about where Martell was, right?
Yeah,
right
exactly. Here. And I think that people don't realize that too. That like they picture themselves in the seat at this table. At their normal 8-person draft.
Right, and he's done good work for the team, right? He killed the Jeskai Ascendancy, he killed the Obzon Guide. Like, he's been taking away cards that could potentially have helped his neighbors create good decks.
There you go.
I mean, there's always some danger that he actually took the Obzon Guide away from his teammate, but I mean, he's playing against 60% of the people at the table.
And he's got a whole pack to go here, too.
And both of the people next to him.
Counting to 14.
Paulo's deck seems solid to me, not spectacular. Oh, there's a Planeswalker.
Yeah, that's a Sorin. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to play it.
But you can't pass it.
You obviously can't pass it.
You
See,
cannot
that's the funny
pass
part
it. You're
about
drafting
this.
Sorin.
If you were in its individual top 8 and you couldn't cast it, you just ship it along.
Right.
But in this top 8,
you take
or top 4, I should say.
It's not even a good card for him, right? It's like a long shot squad is the best card for in the Sultai colors.
Yeah, he just has to take it.
Yeah, easy.
Now,
easy
there's
pick.
also a chance that he picks up white color fix and he goes for the guide and the Sorin as well. But
100% agree.
But even if he could never splash it, he has to take it here. You just cannot give your team your
The pick is easy. What you do with it from here is less obvious.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's very interested in seeing, tri-lands with white in them come through.
Sure. Little Blossoming Sands, little Scoured Barrens.
Those would be nice.
Sandstep Citadel, top of his list. But even if he doesn't play it again, it's basically, the way it's viewed is that it's his responsibility.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you do not let your
He's
team,
probably playing it too. It's so good.
It is so good.
It's not like his deck is trying to curve out and kill the guy in 4 turns or anything.
This pack's not great for him, unfortunately. The dual land doesn't fit what he wants
right,
to do.
Exactly.
He can take the Disown Ancestor and feel, you know, like he added a playable to his deck, so
Right.
that's fine, but it's not great. Roar of Challenge, nah. He also has the option for a long shot squad or a Bitter Revelation.
I'd be taking a Wind Scout out of this deck, out of this pack.
You would?
I'm a Jess guy in this.
Oh,
seat,
to build
remember.
your deck, I see.
That's what I mean, yeah. And way back, way back, when the first Wind Scout got passed the second time,
Oh,
we
yeah.
left that
Your
pack
deck would have
behind.
been insane, by the way. He's got a Just Guy Ascendancy in his pile.
Wow.
Oh, he takes Roar of Challenge here. Looks like he wants the big punch here. That's interesting. He does have a really good shot of getting that Bitter Revelation back, though. And I think his deck wants a card draw spell like that, a Treasure Cruiser, a Bitter Revelation at some point. He doesn't need to prioritize it again because they're common, but he's going to need to pick up something like that. These grindy stall-out decks really benefit from cards like that. Winter Flame, no. Oh, there's
Mantis Rider.
Oh, Randy.
Is that good in a Jess Guy deck?
He's just cringing over here. Oh, man. So,
But that one he's not obliged to pass. Like, it's got passed to him because everyone kind of feels there is no Jess Guy player.
yeah,
He's going to take blue-green multi-land?
could. He's got to decide, look, how bad is it if my opponents get this? We
Right,
know
the guy
Mantis
on his
Rider's
left.
very good.
The guy on his left has been past multiple Wind Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he killed the Just Guy Ascendancy, but he did pass multiple Wind Scouts. He's been passing Crippling Chills that way.
Yeah, Narset made it through, but that doesn't really say a whole lot because Narset's considered, you know, mediocre.
Right, it is possible that the guy on his left is Jess Guy.
How bad is it? I think that's the other question, right? Like,
Mantis-
we've seen Sorin completely take over games. You know,
right,
it can be a
Mantis
game
Rider's
swinger.
not as impactful as Sorin.
Right. It's still an excellent hyper-efficient mana card, but it's
Yes.
tough to cast on turn 3 and limited.
I don't think there's a Jess Guy player. I don't think he's obliged to de-draft this.
No, I think I would actually
There's
probably
not a great
take
card
the
for him.
Thornwood Falls here. Yeah.
Thornwood Falls, Abomination, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, Feat of Resistance, he's not going to play enough white for feet, even if he does play white.
Yeah. I think I would take Thornwood Falls, and then when I got to meet up with my teammates, I would say, did I screw up, guys? Did
Right.
somebody end up with this thing, or was my read correct?
Well, I mean, one of his teammates already passed it.
Oh, he did find a dual land that's on color this time. The Tranquil Cove he could take to splash
Interesting.
white if he wants. And I think he
Yeah.
wants to splash white.
What's he going to take? A Bondkin? Krumar Bondkin? Oh,
Unyielding
Unyielding Krumar. It's
Krumar?
not. It's even worse.
That's even worse. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
take
can't
Tranquil
activate
Cove.
it. Yeah, I like the Cove here. Maybe he just needs creatures. Maybe he's got a creature count going in his head. I mean, I've lost count.
Yeah, it's tough.
But maybe he's concerned about 4-drops or creatures or something specific. Because I definitely like picking up the splash land there if you can. The Abzan Guide's an easy one because it's a morph, and the Sorin's worth taking the risk just because if you do get to land him, he can be absolutely incredible.
Agreed.
And now he's stuck looking at a rotting Mastodon, which I don't even think would make the cut. I would probably just take the Winter Flame here. I mean,
Yeah.
it goes along the same lines, though, as what we were saying. Like, if you're passing the Mantis Rider, the Winter Flame's probably not finding a home, but there's just nothing for him here. I
He
guess
takes
he's
the
going to take
Mastodon.
the Mastodon and stick on plan here. There's another land. It's the Tranquil Cove again. It doesn't look like he's interested in it, though.
Really?
Oh, he's got another option, a Dismal Backwater.
Huh.
But that one fixes the colors of his
Yeah,
main deck
no,
and
he's
doesn't
not-
enable the splash. It
He's
doesn't
not
look
going out
like
of his
he's-
way for Sorin.
No. So I think he's trying to just stay,
Sultai.
stick to his guns here.
Which charm
Looks like he's going to pick up a Sidisi's pet here. And this whole time, don't look away, Randy. Warden of the Eyes in this pack of Freak Weapon Masters just hanging out. And Sidisi's pet is what Paulo ends up picking here.
Jess Guy Student would have been good in the Jess Guy deck too. Last pack for the record.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know you've got one all. You're filling in your curve now.
There's a late Wind Scout.
Is there really?
Is that the same one? Did I already take that out of
You
this
might
pack?
have
I think I
already
already
taken
took that
that.
out
Yeah,
of this
he did open this bag. Dragon Throne of Tarkir has proven too clunky to be a consistent win condition, so that's not a priority.
pack. The Wind Scout coming back makes him feel better about passing the Mantis Rider.
It has to. And it means nobody's moved in, which is
Right.
interesting.
It is.
I mean, in a dream
Yeah,
scenario.
we saw that with Teamer at that one semifinal, at the semifinal table.
Uh-huh.
The other one, not Paulo's, but the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody ever
Teamer
moved
Charm
into
just
Teamer.
goes
Teamer Charm
super
went
late.
14th. It went actual last.
It's so funny. Team draft's so
There was-
much different
meanwhile,
than
there's
regular
3
draft.
Mardu drafters out of 6 players.
With Jesse Hampton getting the pass for opening Zergo and
Butcher.
Butcher of the Horde.
He had the good Mardu deck, yes.
Yes, he did.
I mean, Paulo's deck is fine. I mean, it's not like, oh my god, he should have drafted Jeskai. How could he possibly do this? He's got it. It's solid. It's just not spectacular. And since nobody picked up those Jeskai cards, that means he hasn't passed much either.
No.
I mean, and from a cutting point of view, killing that Ascendancy, he's killed enough Jeskai cards that nobody was tempted to move in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's actually on his left. Is it?
It's Nass. Oh, on his left? No, right is
yeah,
Nass.
it's Matt Nass that's feeding
so
him.
it's Hampton on his left then by process of elimination.
Got it.
The rider's still in the pack.
Yeah,
obviously, right? Like, I mean, now it makes sense.
At this point, everyone's figured out that no one is Jeskai, so there's no need to kill it.
Right.
No need to de-draft it, defensively put it in the sideboard.
And I guess Awaken the Bear is going to hit the hit the pile here
Poor
for
Mantis
Paulo.
Rider.
Yeah, Mantis Rider's never had an ego check like this before. Said, I made the finals in the Pro Tour, you guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Wheels around again. All right, these last picks, usually not super consequential. I will note that Paulo never did quite find that draw spell, so he's going to take Dutiful Return here. So
he's 0 for Revelation and 0 for Treasure Cruise?
Yeah, and no, that, and then
debated both, but passed them both.
Yeah, he also passed a Weave Fate, but that's the lesser of those cards. There it is now. But like I said, that he could take it here, but it's not as good as those other ones. It might not even make the cut. Like Bitter Revelation's way better. Valley Dasher Summit. Wow.
Oh, I'm running Valley Dasher in my Jeskai deck, for the record. I might have taken it. I might have taken it 6 cards ago. Noted. I don't remember what was in this pack.
Noted. And there's a Tormenting Voice.
Triggers prowess. It's all good.
So that's going to do it from Paulo. All told, look, I mean, if you're sitting in an 8-person draft.